Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our City of Mist campaign, The Reaper Soldiers. As always, this is Mr. JP Stilts, and I'm very happy to be bringing you another episode of our game. Tonight, we are going to be rejoined by three of our characters, Eric, Georgie, and Mike, and we're really hopping right back into where we left it off last week. Last week, the crew was kind of split up a little bit. They all went their own ways. Georgie had headed back home to the rubble square to check in on Willow, make sure that she was safe, found her to be working on a blanket, kind of went to tell her to go to sleep, went on a bit of a walk to, well, get an idea of what's going on. She has a lot of questions going on in her head right now. At some point she came back and she was kind of looking over the girl to get an idea of how she is attached to the symbol, and saw that she does have a marking on her hip that does seem to be that symbol. She also heard the scutter, the falling of items, and went to her window to see that there was someone clearly just having stood at the base of her window watching in on her and Willow. Not feeling comfortable with this, she and Willow headed over to the Golden Oasis, a place that, again, Willow's first of all concerned about having to move, but then going to this place of immense beauty, wealth, and trains, obviously.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, cool. They quickly just found a hotel room. She gave the name Daisy Park, and that's where Georgie left it. Eric was really interested in what's going on in that strange basement of the church. The place with immense heat, the strange medical bottles from the future and the past, the image of this stone, this third stone behind mirrors, and obviously the fact that you do not see yourself in this place, but the being within. He decided to have a bit of a conversation with the thing in the other room, and seemed to have received a type of response, a solid metal canister that, when taken outside of this room back into the real world, turned out to be a bit of parchment, 6 lines of these strange zeros and ones across it. Eric determined that the best course of action is to bring this information to brighter minds, but not give all of the details to whoever he was taking it to. He broke the lines down, the 6 lines he broke into 3. He took a section of it off to Horace in the church, provided that to him, gave him a bit other information about the lake, and gave him the name of Thalia. Also oversaw a conversation of Horace speaking with a superintendent of the Metropolitan Police. And from there, he went to try to meet with Thalia, learned that she wasn't there, but would be there early in the morning the next day, and planned to go back and speak with her. Mike, you've been busy working, as it were. You've been maybe not working, but kind of keeping your head down, because the last time we saw Mike, you were fleeing another crime scene. So you probably took some time to keep your head down. But we did hear Thomas go by, and there's no better way. Unfortunately, I was the one speaking, so I have to do the roll here. This, as we...
Hey, I could do a double roll.
Oh, we'll see. A double... Yeah, it could fall on you. It doesn't. It could have, but it didn't. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, this goes to Eric once more. I think it was Eric last week as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
man, if only Spoon were here, would have been on him, I bet.
Right?
What about my secret roll?
Your secret roll?
Yeah, I did a train roll in Discord.
Did you? Oh, right. Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. That's still coming. We haven't quite gotten back to Mike yet. All right, so we have a 7 and a 3. Very good. Let's take a look here from Mr. Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Do.
Dread increases.
Okay. Interesting.
You have 72 hours to live.
No.
So as the night begins to fall on this Thursday night leading into Friday, each of you all in your separate ways. Georgie, you're the first to wake. You have this dreaded feeling, and maybe it's just your, I don't know, I wouldn't call it motherly sense, but you're definitely in hyper protective mode right now. The fact that there was someone at your window, you're in a strange place, it's probably the fact that you don't hear the sound of another person in the room. In fact, all you hear is the sound of your own breath. You wake up to find the room is empty. You're the only one in it. Willow's not there.
Awesome. I did all that, and now she's gone. Any trace of her still around? Like, did she leave everything, or?
Yeah, you see her bags are still there. You can see the bed has been heavily like ruffled. The comforters are all pulled up out of that way where they kind of tuck them in. Everything's just disheveled, like someone was tossing and turning in there nonstop.
Was there like a bathroom or anything like that attached to this room?
There was a chamber room, and honestly, in there, it's probably no more than a lantern. The little pull screen in front of it is sitting open, so you can see that space, and it's in darkness right now. You've probably at this point at least gone and kind of turned up the lantern to be able to see in the room.
Okay. So I don't see any.
At the moment, I mean, yeah, within the room, there's just the two beds. Her suitcase, her bag is still there and closed. The bed seems to be all shoveled. Chamber room's open. The door is closed. The one thing that you probably notice is you were given a key, kind of a strong iron key to get into the room. That key is missing. It's no longer sitting on the nightstand that's in between the two beds.
Okay. I'd like to see if I could get a read on the locket I gave her and see if that kind of hones me in.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a tier 2 status there. So go ahead and give me an investigate roll. Add 2 on top of any tags that you have as you kind of just look in to get a feeling, kind of reaching through to see where this locket might be.
Okay. Let's do green speech. Always prepared since I gave her a locket for this very instance. We'll do that. Uh-oh. That sucks.
Oh no. That's not how we're supposed to start things.
Uh-oh.
Okay. How we've never really seen you use this locket before. Obviously, we know it's a small locket. There's a bit of lavender in there, but normally in the past you have to almost connect, become a one with nature. Place your hands into soil, touch the actual plant. What are you doing to reach out to this locket? Like, what does that look like?
Man. Is there a bouquet in a room? Like, just for decoration?
Yeah. There's probably a fairly nice floral bouquet.
Alright. So, since it's probably the closest and only sort of, I guess, like, greenery available in the room,
Mm-hmm.
just gonna, like, just shove her hands into the bouquet and, like, try and get as much of a read as she could from it. I mean, they're dead, but maybe there's something residual left.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was a part that, in a way, you tied your life and Willow's life together through this locket by being close to her heart. You almost connected an invisible vine between the two of you. I'm gonna have you. Yeah. I think you don't get a read on where she is, but you get a read on what she is feeling. I need you to face danger as you begin to feel your heart flutter with immense anxiety. Right now, she is like, her heart is racing incredibly fast. You don't know if it is fear. It just feels like she is very, very anxious at this time. And you start to feel that same thing in you. Your heart starts to raise. You can feel a bit of sweat forming on your brow. So face danger against a tier 2 anxious status as you try to just avoid it.
Alright, is it a -2?
No, you don't roll against it. It's basically, this is what you're facing. So whatever you would use, whatever tags you use to face danger, we'll do that. Looking through your current tags, the scratch isn't going to go in there. But her life is in your hands. That's an interesting one, because at this moment you don't know whether she is fearful or if it's something else.
Okay.
So I would say that status is probably going to take a place here, where it's going to increase your anxiety. So that would be, yeah, -3. Oof, that's a tough one.
Alright, so we'll do a -3. I mean, I don't really see too much I could use in terms of tires, because this is just a reaction from what is being read.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally, you try to reach out, and now you're not getting a location, you're just getting the feeling. And so, I mean, looking through your tags, I would feel you're trying to be a protector here. So at least, eye on the exit, right? Like, it's not, you're not trying to exit this room, but it's, I need to keep my eye focused on the job, the duty. I could see that. Always prepared as well. You're looking out for yourself. This is, you're feeling anxious for her, but that's not helping. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help her. So I could definitely see at least those two there. And then anything else you feel would be fine.
I'm gonna say that's probably the two that make the most sense. Everything is a bit of a stretch, at least for me. So let's Let's go ahead and face danger. Oh,
There you go. That's awesome.
sweet. Whew.
You're able to center yourself in the room, maybe taking a moment to like grasp onto those petals, and maybe there's that one thorn that's at the very, very bottom that they didn't cut, and like you just purposely find it and place your palm on it to pull yourself back into your own being, like to pull yourself back in and away from whatever she's feeling. Take a deep breath, you realize, okay, there's something going on, obviously. You don't know exactly where she is, but you've had the read on the situation. Yeah, what do? You've been able to set yourself in your room. What's your next action?
I'd like to find her if I could. So I will probably head out into the lobby and just kind of start a very, I don't want to say thorough, but a spur of the moment kind of like search. So she'll probably head out and just try and see if she can find Willow anywhere on premise, and hopefully she'll find her before staff do.
Yeah, absolutely. You head down, kind of the hotel's on the back part of the building, so you head down past the desk clerk, kind of walking down the hallway that goes past the pool. It's now dark. You're probably up, and it's really only about 2 a.m., I would say. You get towards the main floor. It has the grand staircase. At this point, only about 25% of the tables are active. Quite a few of them are still rambunctious. You know, you have the individuals that have been drinking heavily throughout the night and are enjoying themselves. There's probably a few people still at the bar. There's probably some folks that are in the process of eating meals because they're not exactly sure what time it is. But it's certainly not as populated as it were. A lot of the workers that are there now, you may have briefly glanced across and seen their faces there. They seem to be the same wait staff that was there when you arrived. So as you kind of get to the floor and begin to look, let's do another investigate here as you kind of observe the scene.
Alrighty. Let's try. These 3.
And go ahead and add her life is in your hands as a bonus to this
okay.
roll. So that'd be a plus 3, so you're good. It's a 12.
Oh, okay.
All good there.
Excellent.
So yeah, as you kind of look around this large facility, you've been here a few times, you kind of start searching from cluster to cluster, looking for anything strange that stands out. What questions are you asking?
I probably head to the front desk and see if they've seen her, or can reach out and see if they've seen her. She's not well. So she's not well and she's missing from her room. So that's sufficient for what sounds like a panicking family member.
Right. Are you speaking about the desk clerk for the hotel, or like in the general facility of the actual casino floor? Cashier.
I will probably head to the desk clerk since
Right.
they are familiar with me.
Yeah. So the woman back there definitely recognizes you. Hello, Miss Park. You're up quite early, getting a good start on your day. You ask her, kind of give the description. She remembers Willow. Yeah, she tells you that she saw her, maybe it was not longer than half an hour ago. She seemed to still be wearing her sleeping gown and was heading towards the floor. She seemed, I guess she describes her as just aloof, not quite there, kind of just wandering with no necessary necessary place to go, but she was headed towards the main casino floor.
And that's where I will bound off to.
Right.
Hopefully she'll be there.
Kind of head out to the main floor again, searching around the various roulette tables and blackjack tables, and kind of you don't see her amongst the game patrons. You look towards the other clusters of people, the diners. She's not there. Eventually you come across one of those kind of mid-row bars, no more than maybe 6 or so seats around a U shape, with a small counter in the background, a single bartender, and you see her hair kind of stands out. She's sitting there and she has it looks like, a teacup. Can't quite tell what's in it. And you can even tell from this distance, her hands are kind of trembling, and she's just staring across the room to a group of about 5 individuals, 3 men, 2 women, who are in the process of playing a round of blackjack. The worker on the other side, in their white shirt, black vest, lays down the card. Obviously the dealer busts, the whole table kind of erupts in joyous cheers, and they go through the process of handing out chips, and everyone begins to place their bet for the next series. But Willow's, her hands just kind of trembling, and she's just staring across at this group.
I'm gonna just go up and put my hand on her hands, since it seems like something has her very nervous in area. So just trying to comfort her as best as I can.
Yeah, she didn't really hear you coming, so as soon as your hand kind of reaches and grabs her hands flinch a little bit, and she gets a bit of the hot tea on her hand. She rips it away. Oh, it's just you. I'm sorry, I couldn't sleep. Wanted something to drink. Did I wake you?
No, just when I did, you were gone. So, how are you feeling?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Do you want a drink?
No, I'll be okay. Do you want to take a walk outside? Since there's I think Georgie remembers there was a sort of, what's the word?
A pool?
Yeah, like an outdoors area.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's open, but don't matter.
I'm not sure. You still have one clue as well if you want to try to get a read on her now that you're a bit closer. She seems hesitant. You've noticed that since getting over here, she's staring directly at you, almost like she doesn't want you to see what she was looking at. Like, don't look back to where I was looking in case she notices.
Interesting. I will play along for now. Aside from her sudden alertness, can I? Ugh, can't read her mind. Dang it.
Where's what's his face? Samuel's dude when you need him.
Right? Dang it. Fine. Let's see. What else is close to where she's looking at? Like, aside from that table, that's like, is it just a table of that bunch?
No, there's probably at least 2 or 3 other blackjack tables. Only one other that has people at it. Back behind them is kind of the far wall of the theater. The door's kind of off to the right, and then there's the restaurant off to the far right of where you are now. So it's kind of a row of blackjack tables, and then behind them is the wall of the theater.
Okay, so it's basically what I'm saying is like it's pretty obvious that it's them that she's looking at.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely
Like, there's
obvious she
nothing
was
else.
staring at that group. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no like paintings on the wall.
Yeah.
There's not
No
any
other tables.
Exactly. The nearest table is probably one over. Like there's nothing directly next door to it.
To like mask it. All right. Hmm. I mean, I guess she doesn't want to go for a walk.
Right. She's
Okay. She wants to
seems
stay.
to just want to stay, drink her tea.
Okay.
You notice that there's a bit of, it almost feels a bit standoffish from her, like the sense that she's giving you the look of like, I don't need you here a bit. It's not full blown, like she's not doing full on get out of here, but you're not seeing the frightened girl. You're not seeing like the happy worker. You're seeing something else. You're seeing a new side of her that you haven't really seen before.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just ask her straight. Do you want to go play?
No, I could never get into those kind of games. Over my head. No, they seem to be having fun though.
You've never played before, so I don't know. You know, you would have fun or not, or would be in their league or not.
No, gambling's not really my thing. I prefer to just kind of observe these kind of games where what got Morris into trouble. My father had issues with gambling too. It's probably best that I just stay away.
She's staying away awful close, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Weird situation. August. I mean, I kind of want to just take her back, but I don't think she's going to go back willingly. And I don't want to leave her alone. Because I don't know what sort of debt she could accrue.
Right. Again, as she's talking though, like, it's not, her interest isn't lying with the game. She doesn't want to play the game because that's not why she's down here.
Yeah. Something else is drawing her to it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really my area of expertise. I mean, like, I want to see if there's anything supernatural at play, but I just don't really have too much there then. Like, I don't really have too much that detects anything supernatural.
Right. I mean, what, were you the one that I forgot who all has done the look for the mist in the casino? I think Blanche did it. I think Eric may have. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure
did.
if Georgie did as well.
I don't think so.
There's definitely the option to. So when you look beyond the mist, you don't roll plus tags, you roll plus your mythos. So you're basically using how strong you are, how attached you are to your mythos to allow you to see past the mist. You could definitely, it's going to be different than anything you've done, but I think what might allow Georgie to do this is the fact that you've been in that basement. You have literally seen purity past the mist. Like, you know exactly what that looks like. You have seen that woman inside. Like, you've been in a place that there is no filter. So there might be a confidence there to look past. But just looking across the situation, you don't see any specific dangers present. It's a group of people. Again, there's maybe 60, 70 people in the bottom part of the facility, probably about 15 or so workers. And there doesn't seem to have, there's no tension here. All the tension seems to rest inside of her. You're not even seeing a lot of tension on her face. So whatever you were feeling, whatever she was feeling is completely inside her. And so that might be why you're looking to, again, look past the mist, see if there's something within that's affecting her this way.
Alright. Let's join that club and see what it does. How do I roll for it? Do I roll for it?
So however, just do a 2d6 plus whatever you have for Mythos. I think it's 2. So 2d6 plus 2.
For Mythos, I only have 1
Okay.
card.
So 2d6 plus 1. All right. So how are you tapping into your mythos at this time to receive the information from that woman with the fiery eyes?
I kind of just need those eyes, really, to see what I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is capable of seeing through it all. Our realm, their realm, whatever. And I guess for a moment I just need to be able to, like, I guess, borrow the capabilities of her eyes, like her vision. And just, yeah.
Yeah. Your vision begins to go like red and vapory, like you're looking through a desert, and you're seeing the heat vapors rise. You begin to notice the wider range of strange things in this place. First, you have to look past the bartender, and you notice that the bartender, there's something off about them. There's almost the feeling that you are searching their souls, looking into their higher being, and for these workers, they don't seem to have any. They appear very much like the beings that you had seen from Samuel, except they are able to walk and talk and hold themselves just like they were alive. But these are different. There's something different about them that doesn't attach them to Samuel. They don't have that completely mindless zombie effect to them, but they definitely feel like another type of living dead. Looking across towards the table, yeah, you can see there is another one of these individuals sitting at the table. He has his back towards you, towards Willow, but he has a darkness that kind of envelops him. You almost see wisps of just dark fog radiating from him, but there's also a connection, like a bolt of lightning enveloped in flame that seems to be leading from this man towards Willow.
Oh man. Willow, that is not husband material. Please do not. Okay. Is it both ways, or is it just solely coming from him, like attaching her, fishing her out of the water?
It almost looks like if there was an umbilical cord attached from her stomach to this man.
Ew, that's weird. Okay. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Huh. I would like to separate, por favor, but of course I can't do it at the moment. Dang, this is... I mean, he seems humanoid otherwise.
Yeah, seems like maybe a man in probably about mid 40s, kind of a taller, maybe 6 foot, sitting there, broad shoulder, wearing pretty nice suit, kind of dark blue suit. Yeah, he fits in with the entire group, kind of more upper class group of people, think banker, lawyer kind of type.
Okie dokie. Um. Well then, if she won't join, I'll join their table and sit across from him.
Absolutely. Yeah, you head over. There's a few open spots. You sit down again. It's kind of a curved table, able to see across. You see again the face of maybe a mid-40s man. He's got dark brown hair, nicely trimmed back, clean shaven. He's got dark brown eyes, and I think the table kind of acknowledges you, just smiles and allows you to sit down. They're all having a good time. Bartender or the dealer looks for your bet. You sit down and you don't have any chips right there. Do you look to cash some chips at the table, or just sit and observe a few rounds?
I'll do that under pretense of seeing the table's hot.
Yeah. You start to sit there and you observe this man. You see him in this group of people, and you can tell that he's being nice, but he's not a part of their group. There's two couples here, and they seem to be on either side of him. He's alone. His attention seems to be heavily focused on the dealer, observing, and you probably noticed this just because you're watching him, but he is watching the dealer as closely as you're watching him. And the table is pretty hot. There's people are hitting on 19s and 20s almost nonstop. The dealer's busting every other hand.
Damn it.
You're getting blackjack. Probably from the group of 5, it's probably 1 in 10 you're gonna get blackjack kind of chance. Like it's super super hot hands.
Okay. I guess I'll just buy in or something like that.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know how much money I have, but here's a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have a decent position, so you probably have enough to put in a few pence, something like that, enough to get a few chips going. As you're cashing that in, Willow has, like, you saw her give you this look, almost a "how dare you," and storm away, seeming to head back to the hotel. She doesn't want to sit here and watch you play.
Does the connection dissipate when she leaves, or is it like
It fades.
elongating?
It definitely seems to fade.
Interesting. Alright then. I'll finish up the hand that I'm playing and leave as to follow Willow. Yeah. Just a casual wink at that dude, since maybe he'll have to be kept an eye on later.
Right. Yeah, you probably split even. Don't lose anything. The table, again, they've been there for so long that they've probably had a series of people just come, sit down for a moment and leave, because they definitely made you feel a bit like an outsider. You weren't part of their group, so it probably made sense for you to get up and leave. You probably catch Willow just as she's heading into the elevator. She sees you and just kind of looks to the ground. That element of that flash of anger doesn't seem to be there. anymore. It's more she wants to avoid conversation. Just, I know we're going to the same place. Just don't. I don't want to talk about it.
Alrighty. I don't want to stay, but I also don't want to leave because I don't know where else to go.
Right.
But if I stay, I don't know what Willow will do. She's a bit weird at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of making Georgie a little bit nervous that she has like such a turnabout like character.
Yeah.
So yes. What can we do? All right. I guess continue to rule and make sure she goes there and stays there.
Yeah, she does follow you to the room and gives you back the key. She just says a quick, "I'm sorry I woke you," but it seems to just be a quick, "Okay, like I'm going back to bed." And you do notice, you know, and you probably go in there and you watch her for a moment just to make sure you're actually getting in bed, kind of standing and watching the door. She gets into bed and she turns over and just starts kind of facing the wall, not tossing and turning. She has the covers pulled up, but you can see there's movement from her hands, kind of around her chest. It looks like she's holding on to something, maybe rubbing her thumb over something, and her eyes are closed, just kind of holding this thing to her chest.
Certain necklace, isn't it?
Say that again, sorry?
So it's her necklace, isn't it? Because she still had it on, just kept it out of sight.
Right. The way her hands are placed, you feel like it's something larger than the locket on her neck. Is that the necklace you're talking of? The lavender locket?
No, I'm sorry. The medallion, her husband's
Right. Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah, his medal.
Okay. I mean, I want to separate her from that metal to see if it does anything else, but I can't. It's hers. I guess I'll see if she does anything else through the night, and just kind of like keep an eye out.
Right. So you basically spend the rest of the next couple hours just watching. About 30 minutes later, she falls asleep, and she falls asleep hard. That sense of anxiety doesn't seem to be keeping her up. You probably start to hear the sound of boats out on the river, fishermen heading out to fish, the tugboats making their way up and down. Can start to hear some people making their way down the hall and start to see the sun begin to rise a bit. She just sleeps the rest of the night. As the sun begins to rise, Mike, you're getting up ready to head out to work. Got your overalls on, still have those glasses on your head. There's a bit of that. Yesterday, you might feel a bit guilty for not having to be able to work, kind of keeping your head down. You may have even gotten up an extra hour or so early to head out there. But you also know that today's the day that you're supposed to meet with the owner of the Rusty Nickel and start planting that garden there at the bar in the slums. Start bringing a bit more life to the slums. Turn it around a bit.
Yeah, that's why I had to get up. Got a long day ahead of me.
So you kind of make your way down through your old borough's apartment. Probably see a few of the other folks that live here, making their way to the jobs. Maybe there's a professor heading off to the university, or one of the local shop owners, heading to open their store. And you get to the front door and you kind of look out past the glass window. There's 2 constables waiting outside. Their backs are towards you. They seem to be facing the street. One of them is leaning back, smoking a cigarette, seeming to talk to each other, but they're definitely standing right outside your front door.
Let's go back quiet.
Right, begin to take a few of your steps back, and there's a bit of a commotion. There's a cart that's being pulled down the street, and it looks like the worker from Broadview Gardens, the individual that kind of helped plant a few things. He's making his way with his cart and all of his tools, and the wheel just pops off and begins rolling down the road. All of his tools begin to clutter down on the hard stone brick. Immediately, he's like panicking, trying to go over there. And for a moment, both constables are rushing over to help this man. And your secret train roll comes into play as someone from your parks has arrived to help.
Well, I might as well take the opportunity to slip out.
Right. Yeah, you head out and you avoid them. There's obviously, you can tell this is not your first time. That the other day was not your first time encountering the police.
What are you
have
talking
a
about?
very specific body type, and word might be getting around. But you're able to head off, get to the pit, and begin to get that stubborn donkey in order. Still missing yours, hoping that it gets better soon and it's still going to be able to do its work. And you're there fairly early. You're there earlier than anyone else. You're there before Lisa or any of the other workers there, and you notice that back by the headquarters there's seems to be someone skulking around.
Of course. Well, they are on my turf. Gotta go check it out.
Do you try to sneak up on them? Do you make yourself known?
A bit of both as far as the approach, not allowing them to notice that I'm coming, but then not being, run up behind them and grab them, just kind of startle them.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and give me a sneak around to see if you're going to get close enough to get advantage of the situation if they try to do anything. What tags are you going to use on your sneak around here, Mr. Mike?
Where were they at exactly?
So where you're at, and let's see, I can do a quick drawing here on the desk. So you have the front gate to the pit. Over here you have kind of the main office building. You have the carts for the donkeys there. You got the big fire pit here in the middle. And then back on this side is the actual pit headquarters. You see someone standing about here, and you know that there's a fence that runs all the way around the facility like that, with one gate kind of right here at the corner that you've used before. It's kind of the general layout. So you were over here getting your donkey and everything set up, and yeah, you just see movement kind of past the flame. Someone's sneaking around over by the headquarters.
Okay, so the key to the pit would be able to come into play, because I was thinking about using.
Yeah.
And then bullet time to kind of let things pass by slowly, so I can kind of keep an eye on things.
Mm-hmm. You are a bit dizzy still, so moving quickly. Gonna have to stabilize yourself.
And then I want to make a bit of a grand entrance through that gate with I know Kung Fu.
Ka-chow!
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So as you begin to make your way, I'm guessing you're kind of sneaking around this way to come through the gate, kind of sneak up back behind them.
I wanted to do the southern side, so that way I could still see kind of through the slats that they were there.
Right. Yeah, your complication here. I think you have to leave something behind. Like, you're getting ready for work, and in order to get over there with enough time to not be spotted, like, for a moment you have to leave something behind. What is it that you have to, like, leave there sitting on the wagon before you head over?
How about I give you something more fun to play with?
Right?
The donkey was untied, and I didn't tie it back up.
Yep. Perfect.
I knew you'd take that.
Yep, that's stubborn donkey. Absolutely. Yeah. And that actually, it works to your advantage, because like he hears motion over here as the donkey begins to make its way on its own, like not hooked up. It like
okay,
kicks the wagon off, and you leave the front gate open. So it's just going on a joyride. It's gone. But yeah, you slam that gate open, and this individual like turns around, shocked and frightened by it, and slams up against the sheet metal of the building. You see about well, Eric, he's seeing Martin. Can you go ahead and describe your brother for me once again?
Kind of a tall, burly dude. Brown hair. He looks like a far more blue collar than Eric usually presents himself, but there's a definite family similarity between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's kind of not stocky, but just like kind of built, because he works with his hands most of the time and all that. So kind of a bigger dude, but not like bodybuilder huge or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, you see Martin turn immediately, like back away, seeing you there, and he kind of puts his hands up. Sorry, I was just leaving. Do you work here?
I work here. You don't.
Right. No, I was looking for the manager. I believe her name's Lisa. I'm supposed to start working here this morning. Is she here? Is this her office?
Well, I think that you would be better off waiting at the front gate for her.
Right. No, I figured the front gate, that would be where everyone takes. I didn't want to get in the way. I know work would be starting early, so Figured I'd just come on back and I was told she would arrive fairly early. I guess I may have arrived a bit too early. Not a problem. Can you do me a favor? Let her know that James has stopped by, and that I will be returning in a few hours. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. Yes, absolutely. You have yourself a good day. And he goes to like try to walk past you towards.
No, I
Oh,
would just
boy.
kind of step between them. So you're starting a job and you're going to leave.
Oh no, this was just an interview.
That's what you said.
Right. No, just an interview. I was just supposed to speak with Lisa. If she's not here right now, probably best you seem like you have a lot. Oh wait, isn't that one yours? He like tries to throw your attention as you notice the donkey has now left the gate and is trotting through the fields.
The donkey's gone. I realized I had plenty of time to contemplate my actions as I was running around. I'm like, damn it, fuck, son of a bitch, little bastard. So you're just gonna ditch your job interview? Because she's gonna be here any moment.
Right. So is this her office then? Can I wait inside? It's a bit chilly here, and I didn't bring my coat. He's saying this with a roaring fire behind him.
If you're chilly, I'm gonna like kind of pat him on the back and start walking him towards the fire.
He he kind of walks with you for a moment before like the smell just kind of gets to him. He just stops. Yeah, I guess you have to get used to that, don't you?
Come on, come warm up.
You know what? I think I'd rather go warm up with a cup of coffee and, as I said, James. I will return here in a few hours.
Nonsense.
Apologize.
Your interview is now. We can just head over and meet her at the front gate.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't get your name, sir.
Mike.
Mike. You've been working here for a long time. I take you're the first to arrive. Are you the leader of the garbage men? Are you the head supervisor?
No, not of the garbage men.
No. Well, you. I'm sorry. I was told Elisa was in charge here. Is that not the case?
Oh, that's who you're going to interview with. We can meet her at the front gate.
Right. About how long will it be before she gets here?
What was the time that I got here?
Oh, I mean, you're here like 5 a.m. Lisa's not going to get here till 8 o'clock early. It's clear this man has no purpose being here right now. But it's a good couple hours before Lisa's going to show up.
Well, I still want to walk him to the front gate.
Right. Yeah, he just kind of follows along.
Just kind of keep an eye on it.
He's definitely kind of scoping out the place, and there's not a lot to see. I mean, it's a junkyard. It's a trash pit.
No.
There's a big old fire, and there's a couple buildings, but yeah, he definitely seems intent in just seeing everything there is. Kind of get to the front gate, still wide open. Donkey's gone now. He's somewhere in the marshes back behind the old burrows. You got the headquarters there, still locked up tight. Probably about this point, you can see that there's looks like maybe a small wagon far down the lane. Probably another one of the trash men headed here to get their day started. You just see a bit of the dust down on the far side of the street, and the bright orange sun that's starting to rise is allowing you to see it from a distance.
Well, you best go get your breakfast.
Right. Absolutely. Again, Mike, it's been good meeting you. I hope to see you again. Maybe we'll be working together. You have yourself a great morning. Sorry about the donkey. Hope that's not too big of a... I'm going to go have breakfast now. You have yourself a great day, sir.
I'll kind of, with my left hand, just kind of shoo him towards the door as I'm starting to walk towards the cart, but keeping an eye on him.
Right. Yeah, he makes his way out and away. Probably you see him make a wide...
Is he walking down the road?
He's walking down the road, yeah. Yeah, and you see him take a wide berth around the other trash man, trash man Tim, making his way down the road,
that guy.
trying to avoid conversation. Yeah. You get to the cart and like it's clear this donkey kicked back hard. The harness is like bent on the cart. It's just it took the rest of the bit, the bridle and everything with it, of course. But you have the cart, so there's that. There's a few other donkeys there. You know that they are definitely there's probably a good plan someone's going to take them, but you're here early enough that you can definitely try to swipe one of them and leave a note, I guess.
I think I'll have to bear talking with Tim and see about which way the donkey was headed.
Right.
So I'm not going to inconvenience another worker if it takes a while to a little fast.
Yeah, Tim gets dropped off. It's obviously one of those transportation wagons. Hops in. He's got a bit of a limp, and he's just always chewing on something. You're not sure what it is. He looks kind of like a cow chewing cud. Just his jaw's always moving. Kind of sees you over there. What's got you here so early, Mike? You trying to be that early bird again? You know Lisa's not.
No. That's your job. You're
Right.
the early bird. It's okay.
Get the hell away from my cart. I gotta, you know. Timmy's got one of the nice places. He gets to go and be the trash man of the, the walled district.
Yeah. That's why he's a little...
It's Friday. And you know all them, they like to toss out all their goods Friday morning, so you seem to be missing something there, Mike.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw which way that stubborn little mule went.
Oh shit, that one. I thought I saw a donkey out there. I didn't know if it was a cow grazing or what. Yeah, no, he's he was heading off towards the woods last I saw him. That must have been one fast little ass.
Well, do you mind if I hitch along the back of yours till about the edge of that woods and...
I'm going the other way. Nah, you're not.
You go out the same main entrance, like, come on.
Gotta convince Timmy. The man's headed to the gated community to get his goods.
It's literally right back past him, but
and
he's
he is
be
an asshole.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should just strap him up and use him as your donkey, because he's about as much of a bullheaded ass as anyone.
Mm. I don't think being a coworker is gonna be much of a benefit for a garbage collector. Maybe commitment to the job.
Yeah,
No,
you got to get the
just
donkey
try
back to
and
do your
appeal.
work.
Yeah, just try and appeal to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's really about all I got.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, there's that look you give them, like,
He knows Friday ain't really that bad. They're gearing up to party. They ain't throwing out much
yeah,
trash.
and it's also there's a unwritten hierarchy here, and you've put in a bit more time. Yeah, he gets the fancy gated community, but you get the days off. So,
Yeah.
out of respect, he probably just grumbles, and like the second you get to wherever he thinks you said to drop him off, like he just kicks your ass off. Like you don't get an extra foot in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically from where you're headed out here over on the map, donkeys seem to be headed in this direction.
Hang on. Where's? Okay, there's the map.
Should be up in the. I'll just drag you over there, up over here.
To the.
Yeah, so it just seemed to go down kind of to the southwest.
South. Okay. Well.
So as Mike begins his journey to go find this stubborn ass, we head over to Eric. Eric has also awoken early today.
Arriba.
Mm-hmm. You have a date, as it were.
Yeah.
But you notice you were not the first to rise. Your parents, your mom's probably up and cooking by that point, but she probably says something to the point of making a comment that Martin is the better bird or something like that. You know, he got up a bit earlier than you. He's off to work. Does he care? Like, it's the mom kind of teasing you for being the second brother to wake and leave for the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I would. I don't think I. Yeah, I don't think I would ask her where he went, because I think she doesn't know about the shady business that we're into.
Right.
And so if I ask her where he went, she'll probably be surprised and say, "Well, wasn't he going to work at your warehouse?" So I'm gonna let that slide, although I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. And you've been told that Thalia gets to the office about 7 o'clock. Is your plan to catch her before she arrives, to be the first appointment at her desk? What's Eric's game plan?
Yeah, I want to get her before she arrives.
Right. So you probably have to get downtown, which isn't that far. You know, you can get a cab and head in. But you probably get down there around 6:30, 6:45, something like that. As
Did I seriously just hear another train in the background?
you did, indeed. It's going to be one of those nights.
Oh boy.
As you get there, the main facility seems to open. Like they get up to almost full staff around 6 a.m. So you kind of get there after
Okay.
after a few of the additional constables, clerks, kind of secretaries get there to staff. There's obviously the reports coming in from the other districts at this point for everything that happened that night. There's probably a few couriers that are bringing in those reports so they can keep it. So most of the people that are at the downtown, the Met, as it were, seem to be workers here affiliated with the police in one fashion or another. You don't see a lot of civilians beyond the ones that are going to open their shops or the ones attending the coffee and tea places. The downtown is at the very early start of people preparing for the big show. You know, the signs are being lifted. It's something that we've probably all experienced where, you know, a big city begins to prepare for the day. At about 6:45, you can see Thalia across the square. She's dressed in, like, it looks like a long dark skirt. She has long dark boots on that you hear clinking with purpose, almost like a marching across. She has her leather like trench coat like jacket pulled up kind of tight around her. She's wearing her fedora. She's already has her long cigarillo in her mouth. She's approaching. At first, it seems she's in her own head, but then she sees you standing outside, and her face shows a bit of confusion. She approaches. Mr. Wessler, what brings you here so early?
Thought I'd catch you for a little, and he kind of like looks back at the police station, a little off the books business.
I see. Yes. What do you have in mind?
That there's that coffee place just down the road a piece. It'd be a little bit hard for anybody to overhear or get into our business.
Mr. Wessel, you do realize that my office is completely secure. If you're looking for a good place to speak, we could go there. Having these conversations in public would not seem wise.
That's not completely secure. I think the first time that we met, I overheard more than you probably expected I would.
All right. I'll go along with it. Lead the way. I could go for a bit of jump start this morning.
Yeah, I'll go down there and I'll buy coffee for her and myself as a sort of a peace offering in a way, and then grab like a corner booth like in the back, sort of away from people. So there's like a wall of people in front of us, but nobody's really paying attention to what's going on in the back corner because that's how back corners kind of work.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this is called the Darkened Stone. It's got a few of... It almost feels like a pub, but just a pub you go to in the morning. There's a lot of, kind of shadows and everything here. And it's just the way it was built. But yeah, you find... You put yourself a few tables past the queue so that there's that wall of people just going to order drinks between you and anyone else. She sits down, crosses her legs, and extinguishes her cigarette, takes the drink and kind of just looks. All right. What is it? How have things been going? It's been a few days since we last spoke. Haven't received any reports.
It's been incredibly busy. I don't know how things are shaking out in the slums, but it's been kind of a wild ride. I actually wanted to talk to you about the project that you have us working on, finding the other... Well,
right. Yes.
I have something that may or may not be a lead on it, and I will pull out the piece of paper that I had scribbled the 3 binary lines in.
Right. She takes a look at it. I see. What is this related to? I'm afraid I'm not sure what this is exactly. It looks like scribbles.
There was a we were doing some looking around in the shoot, I can't actually remember what borough, what district the quarantine zone was.
Yeah, the church was in the old boroughs and the flooded place was in the east slums.
Okay. We were doing a little bit of searching around the old boroughs for some leads, and there was a abandoned building that seemed to, I don't know, it seemed to call to us a little bit. It was strange, really, but I found some notes. I don't know if they're related. They may not be related at all. It might just be nothing. But I'm a decent code breaker, but I can't make out what this is.
I see. Why were you in the old boroughs? What brought you there?
Well, we didn't have any leads, so we were just going to do a sort of borough by borough search. And since most of this started in the West Slums, we thought we'd hit the next district over, trying to find anything. These things that you have us looking for are very hard to find, as you well know.
Indeed, they are. And you said you found this. Is this all that you found in that building? And called what is this building?
It's little more than ruins now. I don't know what it was, but I mean, you understand how this works. Sometimes you just get a feeling, an impulse, like a moment that just kind of compels you someplace, right? That's what we were following. That's what I was following. The others weren't with me.
The others weren't with you. With this code, zeros and ones, was there no other documentation or information that went with this item? What made you feel like this item had purpose beyond these gut feelings?
I don't know. There was just something about it, something that just called out to. It really was just a gut feeling. You know what? Maybe it's irrelevant. Maybe I should just scrap it entirely, and I will reach to take it back.
She places her hand on it as you kind of reach for it. This is quite old paper. Just kind of looks you dead in the eyes. You've seen the man in the mirror, haven't you?
Yes.
And that's where this thing has come from.
Yes.
You believe its purpose towards the individuals is what? How is it tied to them?
I honestly don't know, but you understand that's not. It's so mysterious, and it was in such a vital location. It seems like it has to have some relevance, doesn't it?
You do understand it was quarantined?
No, I was unaware.
Eric, you understand that it was quarantined.
Well, I found out after the fact, and
Frederic has specifically told me he has advised you of all of our safe houses, including the ones abandoned and quarantined.
Did he though? Because I don't remember that. I thought we got this information from the Keeper's Handbook, the Night Owl.
Right. Yeah. At the moment, Frederic has given off the location to the crew, but not to you specifically. So the last time he actually gave it, it was just towards Mike and William and Timothy and kind of the older crew. So to her, she believes her timeline's a bit off, but yeah.
And I believe that I've never heard of this before, so I'm sticking to that. I mean, I'd heard of it, but, you know, not from Frederic.
So, you saw the man in the mirror. What did you see? It's been a long time since we had any agents down there.
I saw... Looked a bit like me.
Interesting. That is quite interesting. I haven't heard of any cases like that. Who else was? You were there alone, or was there anyone else?
I was there alone.
Right.
When I discovered this.
You found this bit of paper at the keeper's desk. There.
Yes.
Within his right. So then you saw the stone.
Yes.
It's a powerful thing, isn't it? You can see the power that one has. Imagine what the power of the other could bring.
I am keenly aware of
Right.
that power.
That's good. I'm glad you have had your eyes awoken to the dangers that these stones can bring. You were lucky. You saw a familiar face, it seems. That is unusual for many of our members that enter that place. All right. We might have someone that can decipher. If you feel like this is a lead, we might as well try to figure out exactly what it means. Yes.
That's all I'm asking. It may be nothing at all, but it's been bothering me. I worked on it half the night trying to decipher it, and I got nowhere.
It is definitely peculiar. I personally never had the chance to meet the keeper myself. The place was quarantined before I took place, but I've read some of his notes, and he seemed to be a very smart but strange individual. So it does not surprise me that he would use code in amongst his notes. I'll take this. Oh. Yes. No, this will be great. I have no doubt that Monica and Ernest can sort through this. This is good work. What else have you heard from the crew? Have there been any other leads beyond this? If you were there, what was everyone else doing the past few days?
We had split up, just trying to get any sort of information that we could find. Really, we haven't come up with much, unfortunately. We're going to reconvene a bit later on today and see if we've learned anything new in the meantime.
Good. That's good, yes. I'll expect a report as soon as you have it available. I'll reach out to you once this code has been reviewed. Don't worry about the slums. Everything there is being handled. It seems peace has come to it finally, which is good. Few individuals have had to be taken into custody for questioning, but Samuel is being dealt with. Continue to focus on this. I will say, don't plan on re-entering that place, though. If you spend too much time there, you're liable to cloud your own eyes. She says that as if she recognized that bit that you had read in the notebook.
Right. Yeah, Eric just sort of nods in a very tired way.
Looks like you need some rest, Eric. This is good work. I hope this leads us to more answers. I get wary of each day passing without the location of these subjects.
Sure,
City is unsafe
understand.
while they are free and able to be discovered by anyone that wishes them. Well,
The good news is that they seem to be incredibly difficult to find, as we've discovered, so perhaps we've got a chance of getting ahead of it.
that is quite good news. Well, hopefully not too difficult, but certainly if it is hard enough for us, it must be near impossible for others. That is certainly something the founders will like to hear. They've had a keen interest in the entire crew's development through this. If you're able to succeed, to find these individuals to protect the city, yes, they might well want to meet you. things are looking up. I can see a bit of brightness out there. I feel confident in what you all are doing. Know that. Bring that back to the crew. Let them know that the work they're doing is good. Again,
I will.
Keep me informed, though. When you have these developments, feel free to come by. I will make sure to give us a bit more privacy in the office. I have my ways. You've noticed as you've been talking that there is... Maybe it's because you've been focused on the conversation, but you actually haven't been hearing any of the sound from the people back behind you giving orders. There seems to be some kind of invisible shield, wall, something that's encapsulating your conversation to just be the two of you and blocking out any sound from outside.
I will keep that in mind. I say as I kind of, as I realize this, and I think it probably shows on my face. Actually, I let it show on my face.
She smiles and takes a sip of her coffee. Well, if there's nothing else, I probably should return. It is another busy day. Still have a few things to finish up there. You should go and get some rest.
Yeah, probably I should, but there's a lot to be done still.
Right. So nothing else? No other reports, details, anything like that? I can go ahead and fill out the report for you with this information here. Should be okay, but anything else you want to add for the past few days?
Sorry, actually, I'm going through what we've done in the past couple of sessions. Hang on a sec. Let me fish out my notes.
Right. Yeah, you've been to the Gallery of Great Arts. You've been to the library. You spent some time in the strange room.
I will probably tell her that one of the leads that we were looking into, although we haven't gotten far on it, was on the museum with the design, with the writing that nobody really understands.
Right. She doesn't seem to be surprised.
That's why I thought maybe these two things were related, possibly, as I gesture at the note paper in her hand.
No, that... The items on display at the museum are there for a purpose. You won't find much there.
Is there anybody that you know of that we can talk to, that we might be able to get some more information from? We were considering trying to talk to the man behind the discoveries and the setup, but if that's a waste of time, we won't do it.
Dr. Lippert. You might find it a bit difficult to speak with him.
Past?
Indeed. I believe he has remaining family, though. But no, we are well aware of Wolfram and his studies into these stones. He could have made a very well fictional writer. He does like to embellish quite a bit.
It's disappointing. Guess we'll have to find some other lead.
Do you have questions? I have access to individuals within the Order that have great knowledge on certain subjects. I would be happy to pass along any questions you might have. Perhaps try to get some answers for you.
If we could, I don't even know if it's possible, but it seems like somehow Samuel knew to look for, or perhaps he didn't know, perhaps he was just guessing because he was familiar with the location, but there had to be some reason he was searching the West Slums. So that being the case, if they can tell us anything, any hint of where we might find these other individuals, or how Samuel came to that conclusion, if they know, that would be very helpful in our investigation.
Yes, no, loose lips, as it were, Eric. It seems our little keeper of the West Slums wasn't able to keep his lips sealed when he needed to most. Samuel is not a bright individual. Not at all. But he has power, and with power comes a understanding on how to get what it is you want.
Are you saying that the keeper of the West Slums knew about this item, or was it just one of those things where everybody was told to keep an eye out for it? Or did he know specifically to look there for it?
From what I've been able to deduct, he did not come up with this idea on his own. Samuel was directed to find this individual. It was only through the words of the keeper that he was able to determine that veterans were involved. Well, not that veterans were involved. He was able to determine what veterans may have been involved. The directive led him towards the veterans. The keeper led him towards the individuals. The directive led him towards the birthmark. The keeper was... Marin thought he was a hero. He was. To many. He thought he was being quite smart, detailing the going about of Samuel. Took lots of notes. I believe you may have even seen some of his notes, his list. He was keeping detailed lists and locations of anyone that he had assumed Samuel may be looking for after overhearing Samuel give orders to overhearing some of Samuel's men beginning to look for veterans and veterans' families and any individuals with birthmarks. He began to at least try to sort through the district and find out who those individuals were. And unfortunately, that same information was then passed on to Samuel. So while he still does not seem to know who he's looking for, his search all but called off. It was not Samuel's doing that led him to that area. It was a mixture of two things.
So if Samuel himself is just a puppet of somebody else, do you know who that is?
That is why the day is quite busy. There are much larger concerns at play here. Again, why this is vital that we find these people before these unknown individuals can. I am not sure. I know it is someone that Samuel fears. Samuel does not fear death. He cannot simply die. But whoever this person is that gave him this directive, it sure scares the hell out of him.
Well, that's not a comforting thought at all.
No, there's always another string to tug, another deeper hole to fall into. There are many things at play here still. That's why I pray you focus on the task at hand for you and the crew. Find these people, bring them to us, allow them to be safe within our care. Don't allow these strangers to find them.
We will do what we can to make sure that these people are found and kept safe.
I know you will do just fine, but the morning is quickly passing. I must get in, make sure I have everything in order. If you need anything, please, again, don't hesitate to come and find me. I may be out and about again. Fortunately, without with all of my loyal foot soldiers, kind of referencing towards you, busy on own tasks, I have to get my boots a bit more dirty than I'd like. But if I'm not there, leave word for me, and I will come and find you, or we'll plan a time to meet.
Okay. Have at it. And Eric kind of raises his coffee as sort of like a toast, but it's like a half-hearted, almost joking one.
She kind of smirks at this. Like, okay. Raises it as well and kind of just downs the rest of her hot coffee. As she kind of slurps that down, you begin to hear the sound of the general public re-enter, and she stands, gives you a nod, puts her hat up, lights up kind of her long stem cigarette, and begins to make her way out of the coffee shop.
Okay. I will give her plenty of time to leave. I'll slowly finish my coffee over a few minutes. And then I got to try to figure out where the hell my brother went. Because we weren't planning on it. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go check the garage where we usually do our building and stuff to see if he's there.
Yeah. I mean, that conversation lasted a little while. He probably... Yeah, he hasn't made it back yet. The garage is empty. And locked tight. Doesn't look like he's been here.
He didn't leave any notes or anything that I saw.
No.
I'll head back to the church where I usually meet up with Horace. See if he's hanging out there, maybe.
Right. You get to the church, and there's a few other... it seems to be like a gardener there, and probably... I don't know. Again, I'm not sure what religion we affiliated this church to, but there seem to be other religious staff on hand, lighting candles and, again, preparing the day, maybe laying out religious items and so on. You don't see Horace there. You don't see anyone in the confessionals. They're both wide open. Yeah, you don't see the tall, skinny, older man that you know of as Horace. You just see a few other workers.
Okay. Where else would I think to go? Well, not at home, not at the garage, not here. I can swing by the theater where we're doing the setup. I don't think he's doing anything show related, but I don't really know where else to look for him. It's a big city after all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Head over to the Diamond.
Yeah.
As you get there, you can see Martin. He's talking to someone. Kind of has that look that you're familiar with. Bit shorter than your brother, the blonde hair, the fancy clothing that is clearly theater clothing and not actually purchased. Martin seems to be having a conversation with Thad.
Hmm. Okay. I will eavesdrop a little bit if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and what do I want to say this is? Probably an investigate. I'm going to say this is an investigate. See what you can overhear.
This paranoia is really getting to Eric.
Yeah, so what
All right,
tags are we
so
using to overhear this conversation?
I'm looking at driven to know who's pulling the strings, because I suspect everybody now. Frankly, like that's just what it is. Acutely perceptive because I want to like overhear what's being said without putting myself there, and the art of deception so I can kind of sort of blend in with any crowd or just sort of be harder to spot as I'm kind of spying on them, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You said investigate, right?
That's correct. Yep. All right.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So you do overhear the conversation, and it's what you overhear in the conversation that well, we'll see how Eric reacts.
Yep, that's right. I got snake eyes.
Your brother seems to have received a notice that you have been removed from the bill of the show. Thad is now going to be taking over, and his father has cut your act.
Ooh.
And Martin is trying to get an explanation. It seems like Thad is in the process of he is giving off the really rich boy, I don't have to tell you where my dad is. Like, my dad made the choice. You got to deal with it. He's being a dick, and Martin's doing everything he can to restrain himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. I will. Deciding between sort of forcing my way into the conversation or ignoring it and trying to find his dad myself. I think that I'm going to do that. So I'm at the theater. I assume there is some kind of like box office / management sort of administration.
Yeah, there's some kind of office here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to head there.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a I think where you're at now, like, Thad seems to be trying to block Martin from getting in, so give me a sneak around just to kind of use their confrontation as access for you to climb through a window or something like that, just to avoid him from seeing you and stopping and maybe calling out for his dad, anything like that.
Okay. Going to go with short range teleportation.
Right.
Let's see. How about smoke and mirrors? I'm actually using them as a smoke screen to do my little piece. And elaborate planner. How about that?
Perfect. Go ahead and add that paranoia in there. Like, again, especially your blood's boiling a little bit. You just had to deal with Thalia.
Yep.
Paranoid
Add
about
that
getting
in
caught.
as the negative. Yep. Got it.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Eesh. Not rolling great.
Okay. Here's as soon as you kind of get up the wall, get in the window, kind of get towards that floor, you hear what you must leave behind. Thad and Martin get into it. They start fighting. Blows start being tossed back and forth.
Shit.
But you're there. You have access to the office. And I think for you, Martin's not going to really have an issue with Thad. But if you're about to go make a deal with the father, probably best that his son doesn't show up completely broken.
Yeah. I wasn't looking to make a deal with him. I was looking to figure out why he canceled it and if I could find any way to squeeze him to get back on the bill.
Right. I mean, you know Martin's not going to kill him.
Yeah, but I'm also concerned because I know that in not too long a time he's going to be standing in for Pops at this new job brought to us by the other order. So I want to make sure that he doesn't get himself too hurt
or arrested.
Which would be bad too. So I guess I'm gonna kind of abort mission here. I'm gonna try to get down and get out there and break it up myself if I can. Get them to back off from each other.
Right, so I feel like this is going to be, depending on what you do, it's either going to be a go toe-to-toe or hit with all you've got, where you're kind of up above them, so you could easily jump down on top of either one or jump in between. What would Eric look to do? Are you looking to like tackle one away from the other? Just get in between to cause them to stop for a moment?
That one. I'm going to try to get in between and cause them to stop.
Right. Okay.
I guess I'm going to try to turn this into an opportunity. Try.
Mm-hmm.
Is the place relatively crowded? I mean, like, is there a lot of people kind of starting to gather around or anything?
There's probably a few more construction type folk that are around. Ones that are also helping, build the production and all that. So at the point there's probably, I don't know, 10 or so people that are close enough to be overhearing the scuffle begin.
Okay. Yeah, there's not a huge crowd or anything. I'm still going to try to jump down in the middle, and I don't care if anybody notices that I suddenly appear. Right. I'm not actually teleporting. I'm just jumping down, and they can be all like, well, when the hell did he get here? And what was he doing? Where did he come from? Mm-hmm. That sort of thing, to add a little bit of mystery to what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to say this is go toe to toe. You're trying to overcome the fight. And honestly, I think the danger here is just you're jumping in the middle of two men fighting. So you might get punched.
Honestly, being punched is like the least worst thing that could have happened to me in the last few days, so I'm okay with it.
Right. It's like a real thing that can happen. It's not this metaphysical strange.
Yeah, it might actually be like welcome to actually be punched by something that isn't a zombie or radiation poisoning or anything crazy like.
Mm-hmm.
So, center of attention is definitely going to be it. I think I'm going to use celebrity to add a little panache and style just to really get him to back the hell off for a minute. And crowd pleaser. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to make an
Definitely a
entrance here.
crowd.
That said, I think that this is also a perfectly fine place to use my unnecessary risks weakness.
Right. Yep.
All right, cool. So this is a hit with all you.
This is a go toe to toe.
Oh, go to. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. All right. So you get to pick 2 of those.
Okay. So I'm gonna definitely manage to achieve my goal, which is to get them to stop fighting.
Right.
The other thing that I'd like to do is inflict Thad with a status of in awe or something like that.
Yeah.
Of my
absolutely.
entrance and all. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that's just in awe 2 on Thad. I will need you to face danger though, because you put all your attention into getting to the fight. They're gonna stop, but unfortunately Martin was throwing that last punch.
Sure.
So face danger. This is gonna be another tier 2, punch in the back of the head.
Okay. How about, because I can't use those same tags, right? Because the nothing has
Right.
changed yet. This is like in the middle of changing, so I got to use different stuff. So how about acutely perceptive? I know where that punch is going, so I can make sure that I'm not in the way of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be the only one that I have as I'm looking at these.
Okay.
I'm taking one last look to see if I can pull anything out of my butt. Elaborate plan, or could I throw that in there because I was planning my approach?
Right, and you know how your brother fights. You fought with him before, so you probably know exactly, like, you saw him winding up, so you probably know where the punch is about to land and know how to avoid it.
All right, sounds good.
Perfect. Yeah, you deflect it. That's probably what you do, is you pop up in the middle of them, and just as Martin's about to do his next round of hits, you just deflect his punch and you cause him to back away from it, and Thad's face just immediately goes wide jaw. Like, there's a bit of blood, a small trickle of blood going down his lips. You can see redness on his cheeks, maybe a bit of redness around an eye. You're not seeing any bruising quite yet. Martin, like, stops for a moment and, like, grabs you. Eric, what are you doing here?
I was looking for you.
Shit. I was gonna come find you after I dealt with this.
Yeah, I heard. This is not the way.
Where did you come from? Where did your brother's going to face some shit now?
I turn and look at him and I'm like, well, are you sure about that? Because from where I was, it sort of looked to me like you were the one inciting it. And I can be very convincing.
All right. If you don't tell my father, I won't tell my father. Well, forget anything ever happened.
Deal.
Bit of ice will be just fine. Yes.
You should go tend to that now.
I will. Yes, you have yourself a great morning, Eric. Turns and makes his way through the door, kind of closes it, and you hear him walking up the steps. As soon as he does, Martin just turns you around and just hands you the note. Cut us.
I can't believe it either, but this isn't fighting him isn't going to change that. We have to come up with another way.
You know how he gets under my skin. That he deserved it. He needed. That damn boy hasn't had his ass whooped ever in his life. He need to be knocked around a bit.
I don't disagree with you at all, but right now things are a little delicate if we're going to try to get ourselves back on the bill.
I don't know how we do that. He's budgetary reasons. He says he can't have duplicate acts in the show. There's just not enough money in it for him. Favoritism if I've ever seen it. He knows his brother can't do anything. You're the one that brings people into the seats. There's already been... I don't know what you did the other day, but there's already people signing up to come see your show. I don't know what they're thinking up there.
Okay, well maybe we can use that. If we can't get back on this bill, even though this is the theater, perhaps we can. I know it's really short notice, but maybe we can get another location and steal the business, and then they'll have no choice but to see that we're the ones who are really bringing in the business.
We don't have time. Eric, come on, you know that. We don't have time. We need this show to pay off some of the bills before the construction job starts, to help Dad, to get everybody sorted. I don't have time to go find someone else to take on their bill. Look around right now. It's summer. All the damn college kids are out here. We've been through this before. No, we got to find a way to get Thad off the bill. That's the only way.
I'll work on that. I might have a couple of ideas brewing, but they're just nuggets of ideas right now. Let's not do anything rash for the moment. Give me a little bit of time to work this out. I'll come up with something.
All right, I'll head back to the workshop. I'll keep working. I mean,
were you here the whole time, all morning long? Mother told me that you had left early.
Yeah, I just had a few supplies I needed to pick up. Just a few updates to the tank. But that's how I got the notice. They had left it on the front door.
Then does he actually have anything on him in terms of supplies?
No, other than the notice.
Then where are the supplies that you picked up? I swung by the garage earlier when I was looking for you, and it didn't look like you'd been there.
Right, yeah, no, the shop was closed. I was gonna go back a little bit later today. No worries though. Nothing too urgent. We can pick them up next week probably.
Martin, if there's something going on, do you understand that you can tell me, right?
Of course, brother. Of course. No, that's gotten me all riled up. It's fine.
If you're sure, we need to stay together on this, on everything. This is a test. This is all a test right now, and we need to stay together to stay strong.
Give me a convince here.
Okay.
I think Thad has things he wants to say, but doesn't feel like he can.
I'm going with crowd pleaser, drive to know, and acutely perceptive. Acutely perceptive because I'm picking up the cues that he's holding something back, and I'm trying to tease that out of him in a way that isn't an attack. So that's where the crowd pleaser comes in, and I also have this driving will to find out.
Mm-hmm. That works.
Okay.
Ooh, very nice. Do you have
Hey.
dynamite?
I do not. I checked
Okay.
that. Sadly, I do not.
Yeah, something like a brother's love or family trust or something like that.
Family ties.
Family ties, yeah. Probably takes you and walks you back to the shop. Opens the door, unlocks it, closes it, sits down, probably turns on some of the lights in there and kind of paces around the back side of the wall. Met Mike this morning. The big fellow, the garbage man, right?
Oh, you did? He's an interesting character.
Eric, things are moving forward, and they're moving forward fast. I don't know what all they have after your meeting with Horace last night. I received an order, task, gave me the location of the pit, the trash place out in the middle of nowhere. Said to look around. I don't know, something about a safe house there. They're looking for files, for evidence, for anything I can get my hands on. Eric, do you know this place? Is that a place you've been to? Is there anything that ties you to that place?
The pit?
Whatever. Yeah, the trash. Yeah.
That's where we were meeting.
Is there anything that ties you to that place? I know that they're gonna protect you. When has our family ever been known to be lucky?
No, I understand completely. I'm trying to think if I have ever left anything there. I don't
no personal
think so.
items. Yeah.
There's a man there, name of Frederic, and he takes copious notes. I'm sure if he has a ledger or something like that, which is exactly what they'd be looking for, my name is undoubtedly going to be in there.
No, that's what this doesn't make any sense to me at all. I thought when Horace first reached out to me, it was for Melanie. And you'll remember Melanie was a girl that Martin had kind of had connections to off and on. She did live in Cross End. Her family probably owned like a tavern or something there. So it was a total family loss, like a whole big thing. He told me we were gonna get whoever made the mistake, whoever caused that much harm. And I don't feel like we're going down that path anymore. I feel like we are. I don't understand what this group that you work with has to do with the lake. I don't understand how this building in the most disgusting part of the city can be attached to anything that has to do with the lake. I feel like I'm being played.
somebody, one of the people that I associate with currently, was telling me about what happened at the lake. I spoke about it with Horace, but I thought he might pass on that information to you, but apparently there was, well, things aren't always what they seem, and I mean that in more than just and I do a little stupid coin trick or something. Like, just, as like an evidence of, like, yeah, sometimes things aren't what they seem, but that's like real.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes things are much stranger. Sometimes I don't really know how to explain this, but something was happening there at Cross End, and some of the people that I'm currently working with were sent there to take care of the issue or investigate the issue. And by the sounds of things, things escalated and escalated, and there was demonic monsters getting ready to storm the streets or something. It was a little unclear what he was explaining to me, but yeah, things escalated quickly, and it ended up destroying Cross End. I'm sorry.
Remember those monster stories that Dad told when we were younger about the dangers of the city, that we were outsiders, strangers, foreign, that around every corner there was a man wanting to hurt us, a woman wanting to abduct us, a roving group of children trying to beat us down and take our money, and all the time it was just that stories. Do you really believe that these demons, these things, the strange, all of that, does that not just seem like another parent trying to tell you a made-up ghost story to scare you?
It would ordinarily, but I've seen some of these things with my own eyes. I have seen them. Do you remember a few nights ago when I walked in and my shoulder was raw and sore? That was one of those things had gored me. This world is far stranger than either one of us could have ever guessed.
So then we're on the right path.
I think so. I hope so.
They expect me to get something from the pit. If there's a ledger there, if I can get it, I know it's going to be more information, more things they can use to write up the charges, to get the warrants, to start arresting. Where should I look? When does that Mike guy not work?
I feel like he's always there.
And this man, Frederic, where does he work? They told me to meet with someone named Lisa. Do you know Elisa?
No, I don't believe that I do. I haven't spent a lot of time there. We've been busy boots on the ground. Every time I've been there, Mike has been there, and so has Frederic, but I've never, I think, met Elisa.
Yeah, they said she was the manager or the supervisor or something, that I should, if I'm seen, say I'm looking for a job. I'm not, I'm still, the show and dad stuff, 100% dedicated to the family. It's just, well, you know how Horace is. If he gives you something to do, it's best to just do it.
Yes, I know.
Can you help me?
I
Just get me in.
I'll maybe it would be better if I tried to get that information for you to give to Horace. I'm expected there.
Yeah. If you can get that ledger for it, get it for us. Yeah. No, Eric, that would be so amazing. If you can do that, that would be amazing.
I'm gonna give it my all, but I don't want to take the whole ledger because then they'll know something's amiss and I might risk my cover. But if I can get some choice information copied, perhaps when Frederick's not around, then do you think that would be enough? Do you think that would help?
Anything surrounding the lake. Horace told me that they were supposed to have oversight over the lake, that there was some kind of accident there. Names of personnel, supervisors, the men on site, the ones that were supposed to be supervising this, the riot, whatever, other police officers, anything, records that can be, what did he say, verified, hard evidence, he said, not just vague assumptions.
I'll see what I can do. I've got ideas, but just beginnings of ideas right now. Very busy with all of these ideas running through my head, but that's what I do, right? And he sort of like gives a sort of tired smile.
I know, this is too much. I should have just kept it to myself.
I'm glad you told me because I can help you and that will help me in turn. That's what we're for, right? That's what family is for.
I'll keep working on this, but if you need anything to go with you to make sure you're safe, whatever it is, come and find me. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay away from the pit for now, but if you want me to go with you, just ask.
I will.
All right.
Do you know much about Horace? I mean, I know very little.
I don't know a lot. He just has this way of talking. It's a motivation that I haven't felt before. I know that his heart is set to bring closure to the families affected by Emerald Lake. But Eric, I think he has a hatred in him. He doesn't show it, but it's in it's the way he breathes when he speaks about the Order, as if he's out of breath. I don't know what this group did to him, but he's on a vendetta. He's doing it for the right cause, but I feel there are heavily some personal things going on. I'm just hoping he follows the right path, that he doesn't try to cut corners or do anything that, well, the Order would do. That's why I'm worried. He says you're safe, but if we go and we find a whole bunch of information and somehow you get tied to the lake, I don't know how we could ever get out of that. He seems to have great reach. The resources. You've seen what he's been able to do so far. You saw who he was talking to.
Yeah. Well, all we can do is move forward, right? But, you know, in your dealings with him, just, you know, keep an ear out for anything strange or unusual that he might be saying. I want to trust, but this
Eric,
is...
The only time he talks strange is after he talks with you, speaking of demons and foul things and this Samuel who can bring the dead back to life.
Yeah, that's the content that's strange. I mean the mannerisms, the behavior. You said you can sense that he's on a vendetta. Just let me know if that escalates or if there's anything else that you could kind of figure out behind the scenes there.
Well, I'm gonna try to lay low until, I don't know, until you let me know what's going on at the pit, what we can get. I don't want him to see me not trying.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Well, look, I got this latch fixed up here. I know you're saying you wanted it to be a bit more sturdy. He just goes into work mode and begins kind of showing you the few minor updates he has on the tank.
Yeah, shop talk.
Right. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we're gonna catch up with Georgie and Mike before we wrap up the night. I know it's already in. We've been doing a lot of personal stuff, but we will.
Sorry.
Yeah, do a no. We need to. We got a lot of stuff to get through here. 5 minutes, and we got about another half an hour or stuff, or my words are twisting to go. So BRBs.